Hello, I'm Pastor Tony Smith, President of the Johnson County Interfaith Coalition. I will be hosting a short video about healthcare and its relationship to voting. The next election is November 2020. We will be electing a president, vice president, as well as a U.S. senator and congressional representatives. We'll elect state legislators and folks running for county and local offices. When we cast our ballots, we will be voting to discuss many needs in our community. Healthcare is one of those. I'd like to introduce Angie Jordon.
Hi, I'm Angie Jordon, an organizer at the South District Neighborhood Association, and I'm someone who's really passionate about social and racial justice. I want to tell you why voting matters here in Johnson County. If you care about healthcare, your vote matters. Black men and women in Iowa have rates of diabetes 2 or more times higher than those of white Iowans. Rates for Latinx men and women are also high compared to white Iowans. Black men have a 66% higher stroke death rate than white Iowans. Black women have a 39% higher stroke death rate than white women in Iowa. Black men and women are diagnosed with cancer at a 10% higher rate than white Iowans. Black men and women die from cancer at rates nearly 1.5 times higher than white Iowans and die at a rate higher from cancer than any other racial group in Iowa. Indigenous men and women have the highest rates of cancer incidence in Iowa. Black, Indigenous, and people of color are less likely to get the preventative care we need to stay healthy, and we are more likely to suffer serious illness. And when we do get sick, we are less likely to have access to quality health care. Our state and federal government can enact policies to bring down healthcare costs and invest in prevention and wellness. Our state and federal governments can support improvements in primary health care while increasing access to health and social services. Our elected officials have a great deal of control over policies and programs that can increase access to affordable health care. So, it's important we learn how candidates plan to address healthcare issues. And then it's really important that we vote.
Thank you, Angie. Now I'd like to introduce Ron Clark.
Hi, I'm Ron Clark, and I'm very pleased to be able to speak with you about the importance of voting and explain the basic process. Well, the first step in voting is to confirm that you are correctly registered to vote. Maybe you've never voted, maybe you've changed addresses since you last voted. The Iowa City Public Library, the League of Women Voters, and the Johnson County Auditor's Office have excellent online information about registering. You can register to vote or check your registration online at https://sos.iowa.gov and click Register to Vote, or in person at the Johnson County Administration Building at 913 South Dubuque Street. Be sure to take a driver's license or other official picture ID. The second step is to cast your vote. Voting in the November 3rd election will officially begin before Election Day, starting on October 5th. That's starting on October 5th. Everyone in Johnson County is allowed to vote absentee by mail or in person starting October 5th. Now, the video that follows my talk describes absentee voting in detail. All registered voters can vote in person at an early voting site, just drop by the Johnson County Administration Building at 913 South Dubuque Street. Voting on Election Day, Tuesday, November 3rd, will happen throughout the city at designated precincts from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. I'm speaking to you now to highlight how important it is for you to vote in the November 2020 election. Voting is a right and a privilege. Support your community by voting.
Thank you for taking the time to view this video. Participating in the November election is a way for you to vote truth to power. A way to provide our community support through funding and government policies. The following video provides easy step-by-step instructions on submitting an absentee ballot.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, state and local election officials are encouraging vote-by-mail participation in the November 3rd general election. This tutorial will show you how to request, complete, and return an absentee ballot request form, or ABR, to receive your mail-in ballot. Voting by mail and voting absentee are the same thing, and it is a convenient, safe, and secure way to make your voice heard. You do not need an excuse to vote by mail, and your ballot will always be counted when properly filed. Now, through October 24th, registered voters can request absentee ballots. You can download an ABR from the Johnson County Auditor's website, which is linked below. ABRs are also being mailed to all registered voters, and you can return this ABR instead of downloading one from the County Auditor's website. On October 5th, the Auditor's Office will begin mailing ballots to voters who submitted ABRs. Ballots must be returned to the Johnson County Auditor's Office or postmarked by November 2nd. This is the 2020 ABR. First, fill in your name and date of birth. Due to the introduction of Iowa's voter ID law, voters must now provide a valid driver's license or non-operator ID number. If you have neither of these, you must provide a voter personal identification number, or PIN, which is provided by the Secretary of State's office. If you cannot find your PIN, contact the Johnson County Auditor's Office as soon as possible, and they will provide it to you. Next, fill in your residential address. Don't forget to include your county. If you would prefer to receive your ballot at a different address, include that in the next section. If you want your ballot mailed to your residence, leave the second address section blank. Now provide your phone number and email address. This information is not required to receive a ballot, but it is the primary way the Auditor's Office will contact you if they have a question about your ABR. You can request not to have this information included in your voter file by checking the box at the far right of this section. In the next section, you must check General Election. Finally, you must sign and date your ABR to receive your ballot. Once you have completed and signed your ABR, you can mail it to the Johnson County Auditor using the address found in the upper right-hand corner of the form. You can also drop it off in person at the Auditor's Office at the external collection site. That's it. You will now receive your ballot for the 2020 general election by mail. If you have any questions, contact the Johnson County Auditor's Office using the information provided below. Thank you for participating in the electoral process, and encourage all of your friends to participate by mail-in voting.